Stanley Cup playoffs continue to roll on. We have round 2 kicking off tonight. Let's get into the video. Hello everyone, my name is Cameron Simpson, and if you are new to this YouTube channel, consider subscribing, hitting that bell, liking, all that, commenting, all of it. We talk NHL, we talk NASCAR, we talk Stanley Cup playoffs all the time, and that is what we're doing today. We're talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't want to dwell on the past. My predictions blew up last round, I'll admit it. So we're not even going to dwell. We're not even going to dwell on the past. We're going to look ahead, we're going to look forward, and just lock it down, and that's that. Bruins lost. I'd say it was a tough day for me and Bruins fans, but you know what? It is what it is. It's the biggest choke in sports history. I think we can all agree with that. It's just awful. Awful. But we're moving on, and we're moving on to the second round of the playoffs, and I think talking about the Bruins, feeding into that, I think it is a great segue into talking about the first series in which we have, and that is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. Interesting storyline I heard in this story. Apparently Florida is saying, you know, no Canadian fans can come to the Florida rink. It just makes it worse for Bruins fans because that basically proves that they don't think they will be able to host enough of their own fans. But nevertheless, not the series I thought we were going to have. I thought we were going to have Lightning Bruins. Really awesome for Toronto to get out of the first round. That is a big, big deal for them. A round of applause. They played really good. They looked really good. They kind of took Tampa Bay and laughed at them and said, yeah, you're not winning this series. So really great job by Toronto and able to win that series. I believe it was in 6 games. So they've been waiting. They've been waiting patiently, and they wanted Florida. And now the question is, can they beat Florida? Florida looked pretty good against Boston, but Boston was really not playing great. They were turning the puck over, and any team in the NHL can score when another team is constantly turning the puck over, constantly giving you opportunities, is basically telling you, score on me. But Florida, nevertheless, is playing decent hockey right now. So we got to give them credit. Credit where credit is due. But with that said, on the counterpart, I don't think Toronto is going to hand out wins to Florida like Boston did. They're not going to hand out goals. This is going to be a much less of a scoring series, in my opinion. I think Florida's going to have a much harder time. Toronto's fast. Maybe not as physical as Boston, so maybe we won't see as physical of a series. Nevertheless, I mean, let's be honest, Tampa Bay they were killing each other in that series. So I'm going to end up taking Toronto. Believe it or not, I didn't even have them going past the first round, but now I'm having them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm going to have, I think the floodgates have opened for Toronto, if you want my honest opinion. I'm going to take Toronto to win this series, and I'm going to take them in 6 games. 6 games. I mean, Florida are pests. They do not go away, so I will take Toronto on that. But then the Kraken and the Stars. How about Seattle taking out the former Stanley Cup champs? They're playing good hockey. And I keep hearing people talking about, well, Seattle doesn't have playoff experience. Guys, I think we're forgetting the point. Seattle's an expansion team, which means they get players from other teams that do have playoff experience. So I wouldn't take that narrative that they don't have playoff experience. And honestly, Dallas has struggled in the playoffs too. They don't have experience for going on deep runs. So both teams lack in that category. So I wouldn't just single out Seattle as the team that doesn't have playoff experience. Not at all. And they looked really good in Game 7 against Colorado. Colorado is the former Stanley Cup champs. They haven't missed a lot of players. They have a lot of the same players they had last year. And Seattle kind of took them by storm. In their second ever year as a team, they're playing like a good team with the capabilities of winning a Stanley Cup. So with that said, Dallas played really well as well, and they played a very tight, physical series. I think the series will be physical from the Dallas end. I don't think that Seattle will be able to match that physicality as much as they want. Because remember, that Dallas series against Minnesota, Dallas was killing. Constantly. That a ton of our storylines came out of that series for hard hits and dangerous hits. And yet again, Seattle had their fair share of big hits as well. But I think Dallas has more star power. They bring a heavier game, which you need in the playoffs. And I think they have a little more depth than Seattle does. So for that, I will take them. Then I'm calling this series of this round the Devils and the Hurricanes. This one, you can flip a coin and just go with what that says. Like, heads or tails right now, I really do feel like. What a Game 7 the Devils played on Monday night. They just took it to the Rangers, a team that went up 2-0 heading on to home ice. They were up 2-0 heading to home ice, and they blew it. They lost 3 games in a row. They won one to force a Game 7, and they absolutely blew it in Game 7. The Rangers didn't look good. Or maybe it's the other way. The Devils looked that good. I mean, I was concerned about maybe them being too young. Throw that out the window. I don't think it matters anymore. Their star power up front with Hughes, Bratt, they were killing it on Monday night. They bring grit. They bring physicality. And I didn't think they were going to do that. And they brought it against their rivals. And now they're going to play a team that has it all, who pretty much handled the Islanders in that series. I think they won in 6. And so we have Carolina. And we haven't heard of Carolina in a while. I think they were the first team to go to the handshake line. They have been waiting for this opponent, and now they got him. And I think both teams are wicked fast. Very fast, both teams. But Carolina does bring a part of their game that just no one, I mean, man, it's tough. But their goaltending, I don't think, is just as much on par as it is with the Devils. And like I said, you could flip a coin and pick this series to go either way. I'm going to lean toward New Jersey at this point because that Game 7 was amazing. And a team like Raleigh, the Hurricanes, is very good. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think they're as good as the Devils. And believe it or not, I didn't even have the Devils making it to the second round. Now I have them as one of the Stanley Cup threats, believe it or not. Same thing with Toronto. Didn't even have them come out of the first round. Now they are Stanley Cup threats. They will beat the Hurricanes. In the last series, the Oilers and the Kings. Not the Kings. The Knights. Oilers were able to beat the Kings. It was a really good series. The Knights were able to take down Winnipeg. Interesting series. Oilers looked okay. They didn't look great. Bruce Cassidy's Knights looked pretty good. This series is an interesting one. Goals. I wouldn't say points. He still put up points, but he struggled to put up goals. It's going to be a really interesting series. While Vegas looked good, but at times were undisciplined. So, like I said, it should be a really awesome series that we'll have in Vegas. They're the home team. I'm going to end up taking Vegas over the Oilers, and maybe I should just stop picking against the Oilers. This one I could see going 7 games. Both teams are extremely talented. Again, I like the Knights in 7 to beat Edmonton. Those are my predictions. What do you got? What are your predictions? Drop it down in the comments section. But for now, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.